Whoa. I'm still in shock. I'm still shell-shocked by what I just saw. I can't wait to talk about it, to debate it, to tear it upside down and downside up tomorrow at 9:30 Eastern until noon Eastern on Fox Sports 1. I'm sweating. I'm torn up. I'm still not sure what to make of what I just witnessed. Not blind witnessed, just flat out witnessed. I'm not sure I've seen ever anything quite like that. And I was there the afternoon in Dallas in 1989, in which Derek Harper, still a fairly young player for the Dallas Mavericks, thought they were ahead and dribbled out the clock in a playoff game. This just felt so much bigger and so much worse. I picked this morning on Undisputed the Cavaliers to steal Game 1. My partner across the table, as I call him, LeShannon Sharp, a big LeBron fanatic, said no, Golden State. I said this is the one they can steal. There's no Andre Iguodala, the primary LeBron defender, the point forward who gets Golden State into its offense, especially in critical moments. And if somehow the Cavaliers can withstand the third quarter avalanche from Golden State, which they did, the fourth quarters in these playoffs have often belonged to Golden State's opponent. They're still not sure who the closer is, who's the alpha, who's the guy, who's the number one option. Is it KD? Is it Steph? Is it Clay, for that matter? Is it Draymond? Who's the guy? They're not sure. They're vulnerable. They were not impressive consistently against Houston, and I thought this was it. This is the night. And I said, and nearly ate these words, if I were still a betting man once upon a time way back in my Vanderbilt Commodore days, I went through a phase. I thought I was pretty good at it, and then I had one bad college football Saturday. Whew! Almost had to call my mother in Oklahoma City, who could not have afforded what I was about to ask for in the way of a loan. I won the last game that day that saved my bacon and forever cured me of my budding gambling addiction. Never bet again on a game. I bet my pride almost every day on national television, and that's enough for me. That scratches my itch. But I said at the end of Undisputed today, 13 points? LeBron James' team is a 13-point underdog at Golden State where they've had so much success before? Seriously? I said, if I were a bet man, I couldn't bet enough on that. I would have bet lots. Whatever I had to bet, I probably would have risked it. And I almost would have lost it because of J.R. Smith's decision at the end of regulation. The last thing I would have needed if I were just betting on the Cavaliers plus 13 was overtime. And they almost blew the 13-point lead the 13-point spread, I should say, in overtime. They almost blew it. And ironically, J.R. Smith, the GOAT, lowercase, of the game, who will get the blame, this will forever be known as the J.R. Smith game, J.R. Smith hit the late three that actually covered the spread for the Cavaliers. Insane. So back to the end of the game. Okay, so LeBron had one crazy hot streak. Then he had one crazy cold streak. Then he started coming apart offensively with a couple of huge turnovers. Then there were two or three calls that were just terrible calls for the Cavaliers. One wasn't a terrible call. It was just a close call on LeBron. And the more I watched it, I'm sorry. And I was rooting for the Cavaliers because I picked them tonight. LeBron just didn't quite get there. Nice effort, good idea. He didn't quite get set. He was moving laterally just a touch when Kevin Durant plowed over him, and it's a block, and it's a foul on LeBron, and they reversed it. And then LeBron is so upset, he's still arguing the call, and the second free throw is missed. Was it that same play? I got to go back and look this. But he was still arguing, and another free throw was missed with somebody else. But anyway, and he's not up there to help block out. And Golden State gets the rebound off the free throw miss and puts it back in. And it was a huge swing, a quick 2-point swing right there, when it should have been Cleveland's ball. And then poor George Hill, we can debate. We're going to go crazy about this tomorrow. Again, this is just me. If you're the king, if you're better than Michael Jordan, as so many people say, including LeShannon Sharp. Again, you can see us tomorrow on Undisputed, 9:30 to noon Eastern, Fox Sports 1. But LeBron from the top of the circle, I just want the ball in LeBron's hand, and he made a whip pass straight down the lane to a cutting George Hill. And it was a good one, and it was a smart one. I get that. And Klay Thompson had no choice but just to grab George Hill because he was beaten on the play. Okay, so I'm back to where I've been. Why do you want Kyle Korver to take that shot in Game 3 last year? You're LeBron freaking James. I'm sorry. I want you to somehow take the shot or shoot the free throws. I want you. I don't want George Hill. He's not been there and done that. He was with the Spurs and he's played in some playoff games, but he's not that guy. So he gets fouled, and so he's shooting the crucial free throws. And I'm I'm rooting for the Cavaliers because I picked them tonight. But I'm just sitting there thinking, I'll take one. I'll just take one because it's George Hill, and this is Game 1 of the finals, and this whole series is going to swing off this outcome. And to his credit, undying credit, he made the first one. Well, that's the big one. That's the one you got to make. Because if you miss that one, you're almost certainly, to me, going to miss the second one. You never know, but the odds are way against you to make the second one if you're George Hill and you miss the first one. But he made the first one, and of course, he was way short. He short-armed the second one, bounced straight in the lane, and the shock of shocks was that J.R. Smith shot straight into the lane and retrieved the basketball that no Golden State Warrior was able to corral. What are they doing? How does Golden State give up that rebound? Well, obviously now the game is only tied because he missed the second free throw. So that brings me to my man J.R. Smith, and I know J.R. a little bit, and I like J.R. a lot, but his focus comes and it goes. His mental, what would you say? His ability to lock in mentally, it fades occasionally. He's there, and then he's not there. And his mind drifts, and it comes and it goes. And he can be a little knuckleheaded, as we all know, on occasion. He's also a really good basketball player. And he can be a really good shooter. And he was playing some really tough defense on Kevin Durant tonight. I got no fault with any of that. But he's one of those mistake players who will make big mistakes at big moments that are mental blunders. And this was the all-time mental blunder. He's got the ball in the lane, and if he wheels, he might be able to make something happen. I forget how many seconds, maybe 6 seconds left. He's got time to make a pass to somebody and maybe get more free throws because all you need to do is make one. Maybe he could go right back up and get the free throws. I'd give him a better shot. He's played in so many big games. I'd give him a better shot than George Hill at making those free throws. Making at least one free throw more to win the game. Eat some more clock. I don't know, maybe he can find LeBron and LeBron can make a shot. Maybe, I don't know. Instead, he dribbles to half court. And LeBron's screaming, everybody's screaming, and at the last second, oh my God, and he throws it, I think it was Jordan Clarkson who had to throw up some half-block three, and that's it. You're not going to get a better chance than that to steal a game at Oracle. You're just not. And LeBron put up whatever it was, 50-something. He had, I think, 8 and 8, 50, was it 51, 8 and 8? I just barely skimmed the box score, forgive me. I'll know it by tomorrow, 6:30 Pacific time, 9:30 Eastern on Fox Sports 1. But this will forever be known as the J.R. Smith game. Is anybody shocked that he had a mental blunder that cost them a shot? It didn't cost them the game. It just cost them a shot at the game. No, I'm not surprised. If you said something's going to happen tonight that will go down as one of the classic mental blunders in finals history, and I gave you Cleveland's roster and I gave you Golden State's roster, you might pick JaVale McGee on one side. He got blocked by the rim again tonight. But you'd probably settle on J.R. Smith. Nobody's surprised by that. I'm just, because my pride's on the line, because I picked this on national TV, I'm devastated by it. I'm wrung out from it because I knew what happened. I knew it. I knew that this was the equivalent, sort of the reverse equivalent of what happened to my San Antonio Spurs. I'm a big Spurs fan from way back in the 80s. Game 6, 2013, at LeBron's house down in Miami, when LeBron missed the three-pointer to tie, long rebound, no Tim Duncan in the game, don't ask me why, don't get me started. Long rebound out, retrieved by Chris Bosh, who had a slick little dish into the corner to Ray Allen, who hit the greatest clutch shot I've ever seen, just as clean as a whistle. Swish from the corner. Pew. Tie, overtime. This reminded me sort of in reverse of that. The impact was the same on the Cavaliers. They were shell-shocked. They were devastated. They were knocked completely off balance by what just happened. We had it. And they blew it, and they knew it. And it's up to LeBron to try to rally the troops. LeBron just looked completely spent. It was like a marathoner, to me, running 26.2 miles, and I've run a bunch of marathons, so I know what I'm talking about. And you get to the finish line, and you are completely spent. Your fuel gauge registers empty. And that's what happened to LeBron. He was shot mentally and physically, especially physically. And all of a sudden, wait, we got to play 5 more minutes? Nope. You got nothing left. They had nothing left in their tanks, mentally or physically, in overtime. And Golden State frolicked. Golden State paraded. Golden State danced. Golden State clowned. Golden State celebrated. And it was the mismatch everybody thought this was going to be in overtime. 17-7 Golden State. And I'm going to save some of this for tomorrow. I'm going to unleash at 9:30 Eastern. I'm going to unleash because Golden State gets on my nerves. I have nothing but respect for their games. I love Steph. I said Steph should be drafted ahead of Blake Griffin in that draft, and everybody laughed at me, and I think I was right about that one. But he makes me sick. Front run, showboats, hot dogs, over-gloats, over-celebrates. What was Draymond doing with his dancing in the lane at the end? Okay, we got it. It's game 1. Are you that good? Are you really? Okay. Just calm down a little bit. I think that's what got under LeBron's nerves. Not that he hasn't been known to showboat himself occasionally, but I think that's what he was saying to Steph and Clay at the end, especially to Clay. To just calm down a little bit. We got it. You guys did it. You pulled away. You surged. We blew it. Just don't rub it in that much. It's just game 1, and LeBron just had enough. And he was probably not only psychologically devastated, but he was pretty wrung out. And so he gave it back to Clay, and then Steph came down and tried to peacemake with him, putting his jersey up and talking like this so we couldn't hear what it was. Okay, fine. And then Tristan, who will fight anybody anywhere, he wanted to fight Draymond. I don't blame him. Draymond's talking. Draymond's a lot of talk. A lot of talk. Would he back it up? I don't know. He cost his team the 16 finals, when he called LeBron the B word so audibly that Kiki Vandeweghe, the director of punishment for the NBA, could hear it at courtside. All the media heard it. It was widely reported, and Draymond got suspended for that turnaround game 5 back at Oracle, won by, obviously, LeBron and Kyrie. And then you know the rest of the story. They came from 3-1 down and won the NBA Finals over the Golden State Warriors. Well, Draymond talks, he gloats, he acts out. Would he back it up? I don't know. I'm just left flat. I'm left sick at my stomach because I wanted to see a great series, and maybe it still will be, but trust me, I gave the Cavs a lot better shot of stealing game one than game two. I just don't love it for game two. Now I fear the Cavs are going to have to try to climb back into this at home by winning 3 and 4 and then try to go. It's just hard. The way you do it, the way you push this to 7 games, and by the way, I did pick Golden State in 7 big, long, hard, tough games. My point was, I just think LeBron would miss Kyrie in this Game 7 at Golden State. Kyrie won it for him last time with that shot of shots, the closing clutch shot, Game 7 back in 2016, but not this time. I don't think LeBron could do it by himself in a Game 7 at Oracle this time, but I would love to see it. I would love to witness it, and now I'm not so sure. Just not so sure. That was it. The Cleveland Cavaliers should have won that game 20 different ways. You know it, and I know it, and Warriors Nation knows it. And especially J.R. Smith knows it. I'm sick to my stomach. I won't be able to sleep much. I don't care. I can't wait. Undisputed tomorrow. I'm going off. I'm going to unleash on all of the above in gory detail. This is going to be a show of shows. We are going to go 2.5 hours. We will tear apart every little play that I mentioned down the stretch of regulation all the way to the J.R. Smith Memorial play. Every little call, every decision, LeBron's decision to whip pass to George Hill instead of taking the shot himself or trying to get to the free throw line himself, which I believe he could have done. All of that will get dissected, broken down, back and forth. Me versus LeShannon Sharp. He picked Golden State. I think I was more right than he was, even though I lost. I think that was the game, as the gamblers say, that I was on the right side of. Man, I just can't believe what I just saw. We will go at it. 9:30 tip-off till noon. Undisputed. Fox Sports 1. No sleep for me. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night, Facebook.